In modern software development, critical knowledge is fragile. When it isn't written down, it simply evaporates into isolated human minds or disappears into the depths of a transient AI chat log. The problem is that many developers treat documentation as an external chore, something to be handled after the work is finished, rather than as a part of the work itself. This list defines the result: vague, outdated, and jargon-heavy pages, or generic blocks of text blindly copy-pasted from an AI agent without any human review. Documentation of this quality does nothing to help the team. It is often used to mask a lack of clarity, hiding confusion under a layer of technical-sounding words. This creates a dangerous bug in the development process. It provides a false sense of security, while the actual project context is silently lost to time. High-performing teams treat the writing process as a core component of the build. Documentation functions as a thinking tool. It is the space where you capture your intent before the first line of code is written and track your changes while the architecture evolves. To be effective, this writing doesn't need to be long. It only needs to be specific and useful for the person or machine reading it later. The goal is to provide enough clarity that any future developer can solve a complex problem without needing to hunt down the original author. This clarity starts with a layer of mental scaffolding, defining the why before touching the keyboard. A project intent document anchors the build by identifying the core problem, the business value, and critically, what is explicitly out of scope. With the intent established, the focus moves to implementation, where developers have to navigate a constant stream of choices. To manage this complexity, there is a simple organizational rule: never mix facts, assumptions, and decisions. Facts are the known constraints of the system. Assumptions are the beliefs we haven't confirmed yet, like expecting a certain user volume, which must be tracked so they don't turn into hidden risks. Finally, we record decisions, the specific choices we made and the trade-offs they required. By separating these three elements, you transform a chaotic set of ideas into a stable, buildable system that any engineer can follow. Once the system is built, we use testing documentation to prove the code actually matches that original intent. A proper QA document tracks the specific acceptance criteria and edge cases that a feature must survive before it is considered finished. In a modern environment, these human-readable criteria serve a second purpose. They act as the primary instructions for directing AI coding agents. Because agents lack intuition, they rely on these documents for the context, constraints, and architecture rules they need to generate functional code. This list shows what happens when that context is missing. Poor documentation leads directly to hallucinated requirements, broken architecture, and agent drift, where the AI begins solving the wrong problem entirely. In this new era of engineering, the quality of your writing is the only reliable bridge between human intent and accurate AI execution. There is a final rule to follow. As the software implementation changes, the documentation must change with it. Outdated documentation is a liability. It creates false confidence, leading developers to make decisions based on information that is no longer true. To keep these records accurate, they must stay close to the work, linked directly in the project manager or the repository so they are easy to find and update. We also scale the depth of the writing based on the task. A massive product needs deep architecture notes, but a small bug fix might only require a short requirement and a test note. The goal is to provide the appropriate amount of clarity for the situation, avoiding unnecessary weight while ensuring no critical knowledge is lost. Remember that you aren't just writing for yourself in the present. You are writing for every future reader of your work. That includes the founders, the next group of interns, and even your own future self 6 months from now. Success means that another person, or an AI agent, can understand exactly what you built and why, without needing to ask you a single question. Documentation is the foundational tool we use to create clarity, enable collaboration, and ensure that our software can be maintained for years to come.